trench-coated pound of him. A yelp lodged in her throat. Then Ella swung to a halt at the sight of a baby in his arms. Sheer surprise had her dropping the bound linens, and he gripped the handrail, steadying himself. His wild brown hair stood on end, as if tugged by 1,000 worries. "I need a doctor," he panted, using a ledge to climb around her mess with a balance that defied logic. And when he silently landed much too close on the other side, decorum. Her senses were struck with the scent of coal smoke and caramel? Ella made to step back, but there was nowhere to go. It mattered not when she looked once again to who he held. Bundled in a snow-dusted blanket, the baby glistened with sweat and perhaps tears. She reached for the babe, but he tightened his grip. "A doctor!" Pale green eyes glittered fiercely. Stunned to silence, Ella had to work to find her voice. Follow me." She shoved the linens aside, then hurried up the last few stairs, him beside her. A few more steps and she pushed past the door that led them into the children's ward. "In here," she called over her shoulder, then searched for the doctor. "Dr. Pensky, I've a baby here who seems to be running a fever." Turning from the boy he was tending, Dr. Pensky glanced from the man's patched coat to the unlaced boots which thundered to a halt beside Ella's. The stranger's chest heaved as he swallowed a breath. "Seems to be." Dr. Pensky's tone was as dismissive as his gaze. I haven't examined the child," she said. The doctor glanced around the children's ward where 2 other nurses bustled with tasks. Using the back of his hand, he swiped a lock of hair from his forehead. "Well, why don't you get to it?" Me? She was only given the most mundane tasks, from emptying chamber pots to changing linens. Hopefully the stranger didn't sense that. "Please, lay her here." Ella moved to an open crib bed and lowered one side down. "I'll check her temperature." The man eyed her warily but did as she asked. Ella's fingers were suddenly unsteady as she adjusted the pillow beneath the tiny blonde head. She'd never been assigned a patient before, not once. But she'd read the nursing encyclopedia forward and back and watched the nurses day in and day out. Besides, she was the oldest of 5 brothers and sisters. Ella forced herself to remain calm. When it came to fevers, she knew what to do. A check of the girl's pulse said it was just over 120 beats per minute. Ella unbundled her down to a wrinkled dress and sweater, then cast the blanket to the foot of the bed. "The child's name?" After lowering the other side of the crib, the man knelt there. "Holland." Flicking a glance to his face showed that he was serious. Ella pressed the back of her hand to the babe's round cheek. She nabbed a thermometer and loosened her clothing enough to ease the glass tip under the girl's arm. "How old is she?" 7 months. "How long has she had a fever?" "A few days. But it's gotten worse today." The mercury rose. "It's a good thing you brought her in." Ella waited another minute, freed the thermometer, and at the numbers blew out a controlled breath. A very good thing. "Has she been seizing at all?" Ella tugged off the baby's leather booties. "No." "You're certain?" "I would know." Irritation edged his voice. Ella held up a hand to pacify him. "The doctor'll be with her shortly. Please, have a seat." She motioned toward the chair beside the bed, and he pulled it forward, sitting as near to the girl as he could. "Has she been taking fluids?" Ella asked. "Any food?" "Not much food. A little water." Looking lost, he glanced around the room, then back to the child. "We've had a hard time getting her to drink. She's so sleepy." The man leaned forward and touched the baby's tiny fingers with a hand that looked